And we are now live. Hi, I'm Kira858, and today we're bringing you Rivenwood Academy Season 2, Episode 8. Once again, always here at the Cookout, we love to give shout outs to different channels out there, to shout out different content creators. So perhaps you could take a look at their Twitch, their YouTube, see the projects that they're working on, and support them on their endeavors. So as always, we always love to give a huge shout out for is Adria Bear, also known as the Bear Pen. The Bear Pen it has both a Twitch as well as a YouTube channel. With a variety of different content. They have, of course, Vampire the Masquerade, which they're currently running a mini series at the moment. And soon, the main series, Blood of the Bayou, will be starting back in November. They also have just recently started a werewolf campaign called Rage in the Bayou. They will be starting a one-shot, I believe, in Halloween, featuring a few of the individuals here in chat. And a couple other different projects that's coming up. So if you can, please support their content. You can find them on their Twitch as well as their YouTube with the Bear Pen that ends with the H. So the Bear Pen that ends with the H. And the second group we would like to give a shout out for, of course, is Hunters Entertainment. Hunters Entertainment is a variety TTRPG streamer channel that features content within the genre of horror as well as sci-fi. You'll see well-known individuals such as Melee Damage, Michelle Young, Markia Bacardi. You will also, of course, see Elisa Pearl sometimes as a special guest, Cynthia Marie, and quite a few different individuals. They just recently completed their Outbreak Undead Ragged Bone series, and they're a fantastic TTRPG streamer. More so, one of the individuals whose name is Alex Redeye, who is a tech producer at the Bear Pen, is also a tech producer at Hunters Entertainment, and they regularly sends us raids to support this show. So we always appreciate all the love that they give. So if you can, definitely go ahead and give Hunters Entertainment a follow and support them on their endeavors. And last, but certainly not least, we want to give a shout out for is a good friend of mine. Her name is the Brandy Rose. The Brandy Rose, who is going to be becoming a permanent member of the cast of Lords of Faerun, starting this upcoming Saturday, has started her own Twitch channel called Cutest Patootie. She features a lot of indie-based video games of all different types. Leads into the romance, anime-based games, a whole bunch of different content. They have quite a few different projects, such as 3 different podcasts, Eat Crit that leads towards TTRPGs, and of course with specializing in marginalized voices, Cringe Warning, and a whole bunch of different content in place. So if you can, definitely support her on her Twitch. She just recently made affiliate, so congrats on that. And so we would like to see her success continue to blossom to the stratosphere. So definitely go ahead and give Cutest Patootie a follow, the Brandy Rose, and support her on their endeavors. So those are all the shout outs that we have for today. In terms of announcements, the biggest announcement I would like to state is that Rivenwood Academy is going to be transitioning specifically to YouTube. We're going to be moving towards releasing our videos on Tuesdays, starting at 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So today is actually going to be the last session here on Twitch as we transition over to our new schedule. So we definitely hope to see you there, hope to see your support. Well, of course, go ahead and follow our YouTube, which you can always find in our chat. Go ahead, give a like, subscribe, and comment on what you like in the channel. We will be taking a week break or so before we actually transition over to releasing our next episode. And definitely, if you'd like to keep up to date on that information, you can always follow our Twitter, which is at The Cookout TTRPGs, for not just this, but of course, giveaways and more. Of course, we have a couple other projects coming along the way. You already know about Lords of Faerun, which has both the Bradley Rose as well as Noir Onigma joining in as a special guest for this upcoming Saturday. Of course, we have the Mage the Ascension campaign that has, of course, been starting on YouTube. The first 2 episodes have been released, so if you want to take a look at their content, definitely go ahead and again head over to our YouTube. And then, of course, we have Gods of Color, which will be coming out in December time frame. That's going to be both on Twitch as well as YouTube, so definitely excited for that. And we have so much more projects along the way. We are super excited for it. Like I said, eventually I will give my 7-day and rest, but until that day comes, the grind continues. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and bring you our intro video as we bring you episode 8 of Rivenwood Academy.
Micah, Ardris, Meaty, Callan, Otis. Behold the spellbinding abilities of Rivenwood Academy.
Transition. There we go. And we are back. So with that said, Aaron, take it away.
Awesome. Let me tell you what, the last session ended up super chill. Nothing happened. Definitely were not massive fireballs thrown in small enclosed space with a whole bunch of people teleporting out and are just getting nabbed by some very formidable looking. You did in the life of several regular looking Petrocosta. Unfortunately, Argus was still captured. So we end up with a sort of fractured party where Argus is currently bound and being carted away somewhere. The rest of the party, through various teleportation or strategic falling, have ended up outside of this now completely engulfed in flames former tavern. And you are heading towards an alley, I believe. So Miri and Micah were the ones farthest out, with Kellen and Otis catching up in the back, heading kind of away down this narrow back street towards an alley. And so I'm going to turn this over directly to you because this is going to be very interesting to resolve. What are we doing?
Just trying to catch up.
Yeah, Miri is. I mean, she's looking back to see if any of the others are following. I suppose she sees Kellen and Otis behind
so
her.
Basically, you bamf out with Micah. You're like, all right, where are we going to go? You look back, you watch Kellen fall, you see Otis come out, and then you see kaboom, the massive explosion. And then you watch, as the entire building is now engulfed in flames. So yes, you can see Kellen and Otis, who are not terribly far behind you. They're probably 30 feet.
Okay. She'll wait just a little bit before she dips into an alley so that they can at least see where she went.
It's ready. I kept it ready. Okay.
Yes.
I'll wait till my turn though.
But she pulls Micah with her, yeah.
Okay.
I can cast long stride.
Oh, nice. Micah, are you going willingly for all of this? Are you holding on to Mary's hands and kind of going, what's your plan here?
I think Micah, they're because presumably that Mary has their wrist, so they're definitely following suit. But after the explosion, I do think they turn their head to look at the explosion, and they're going to use their ring to cast message to Ardris to see if they can be able to reach them. Are you okay?
Unfortunately, Argis is out. Well, actually, what's the range on your ring?
120 feet.
If it's 120 feet, yeah, sure. Argis, you hear Micah's voice in your head.
I forget, is that the one I'm able to respond to?
Yes, yeah.
You are able to respond. You are moving kind of out of the range, so like you're going to be able to talk right now, and then you're probably going to get too far.
I'm fine. Flee.
Their eyes widen, but then they kind of look towards Miri and then continue following suit. At least now knowing that Ardris is okay. But yeah, they're just following suit for now.
Straight and to the point. I love it. All right, so Miri and Micah are two M's duck into an alley. Moving back to Kellen and Otis.
Otis will cast Longstrider at the second level, so Kellen gets it also.
Okay. Remind me what that does.
I believe it increases movement speed. You touch creature. Oh, I got to touch. Okay. Target
Y'all are
speed
close enough to
increases by
touch.
10.
That's not a problem.
Okay, good. Target speed increases by 10 feet until the spell ends, and it lasts for an hour.
Nice. All right, so both of you are moving with a little bit of pep in your step now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Otis probably gets like 5 or 10 feet ahead of him because Kellen, kind of as he lands, hears the explosion. He stops and looks back for like just a second or two longer than what you have to before he starts running after the others.
Well, you wouldn't, because Otis had to pick himself up because he fell, and that was half his movement speed. So we'd probably be like within a few feet of each other still.
And you are also heading to the alleyway?
Yes.
Yeah, follow Miri.
Awesome. Miri, as you get into this alleyway, are you continuing to drag Micah down the alley? Are you looking for anything? Or are you going to stop once you get around the corner? What's the plan?
What's down the alley that she can see?
Ooh, great question. This is let's see, what time of day was it? It was very early in the morning. This is a quieter alleyway. Outside is pretty bright and lit, but you don't really see a lot of movement. There's like 1 or 2 people wandering around. It looks like this kind of backs into like a residential area, and most of the people are out doing things. So it's a quiet kind of avenue with just a couple of people here and there. Not really any like, there's no like, I don't know, conveniently stacked boxes outside or like, hide here, neon air or anything.
They're solid.
But I mean, it looks like if you could keep following down this avenue, you would end up coming to another street. So it kind of connects like maybe the street that you just came from and another one.
Then she'll continue down, but she's gonna go at a slower pace in case the other two end up coming through.
Cool. So you're heading down, but you're going a little bit slower.
Yeah.
Kellen, you have keen mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're aware going down this way, you are heading north right now? Because you came out of the back side of the alley and you had to turn right in order to get on this. So you're aware that you're not heading north. But Miri and Micah are slowing so that you can catch them. And I'll say within a round or two, you are all now heading through this avenue together.
And Micah, they're going to put on their hood to cover their unique, very, very stick out face.
Now Michael wants to be discreet.
Oh yeah, they now know something's very wrong.
Are we able to catch up with them?
Yes, you are
all
together
now.
Okay.
The avenue goes just a little bit further in front of you before you're going to hit another street. It looks like you can cross that street and keep going down the quieter path, or you can turn onto this main road.
Unless anybody stops Mary, she's gonna keep going. She's trying to get away from this place as far as she can.
Wait, is it the main road heading out, or the main road? Where is the main road heading to?
Neither. Via Kellen, it's heading east-west. That's about all you got. And when I say main road, I just mean like a bigger road.
Mhm.
This is not like the road in the.
It's not to leave the city.
Our choices are a larger scale road or another alleyway.
Yeah, well, you're aware with east-west, it would head like towards the capital or towards the Citadel, towards the road that you came in because you came from the south on the main road. So you could head towards that, or you could head away from that if you're going to the east, and you can get into the further into the Trivel. The area Torre is somewhere to the west of where you are. The wing court's further that way. So you know that most of the places you can go in town are to the west.
So I think for Michael, when they see the others appear, they will say, I talk? Argus, okay.
He is?
Mhm.
Okay, that's good. Are you two okay?
Otis doesn't say anything.
Oh no.
Physically, I'm fine.
Well,
Let's. I assume at this moment we're kind of like we've slowed down and we're slowly moving, and he's like, we need to get somewhere we can talk more extensively.
Okay. Yeah. We can do that.
What kind of place are you looking for?
Kellen is going to, like, at this point, our clothes are kind of like all torn up, I would imagine, right? We've had people like trying to grab us and like tearing at them. Like, at the very least, we look somewhat disheveled or something, right?
Yep.
Kellen is going to see if he can try to make his way towards the lesser areas of the city.
Okay. Interesting.
Residential, but like, you know, lower class residential, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you haven't really explored the city much, so you're not really sure, but you get kind of the vibe that if you keep going north, you're going to keep being in a residential area. And it seems to be that you'll be going further away from the Citadel, because right now you're kind of running perpendicular to where you would need to go to the Citadel, which is where the fancy stuff would be. So if you kept going north, you would probably start to get to kind of like, not the slums, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, his plan would probably be to continue further away from the Citadel.
Okay. That sounds like you are continuing to move north. Is that correct?
Yep.
Awesome.
What is the silent suit?
So, just to double check, you're just going to keep walking.
For now, I think, like, Helen would say, he's like, all right, now, don't run, but move at a place like we have business where we're going. So we wouldn't be like full out run pace. We'd be like, you know, brisk walk.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Awesome. Kellen, can you make me a dex check really quick? And Otis, a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay.
Because you're out of it. I will let Miri and Micah make one with just a straight roll.
All right.
Also, Otis will
Dex check or save? I guess they're the same.
can my wildfire spirit make a perception check?
No, this is just like a general party kind of like, what do you notice?
Okay.
As you're moving, so
Rolling. It's worth a shot.
8. Okay.
Adding my D4.
I got a 21, by the way.
16.
Okay, so let's. Is that 8? Yeah, 14 plus 8. 22, I believe.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, rolled a 10 and a 17, and then, you know, because of his racial ability, add a D4, rolled a 4, and then add the 8 from the perception.
Man, our boy doesn't miss nothing. All right. As you're moving, Kellen, you're kind of distracted. Somebody kind of bumps into you, and so you're not able to fully pick up what's going on. Otis, Micah, and Miri, as you cross the street, you manage to make it kind of just across the street into this alley. So you start to hear people. There's some sort of like excitement down the street. You don't hear exactly what it is because it's a little bit too far, but it sounds like a crowd is starting to form towards the west, towards the Citadel. But because of your high perceptions, you are able to kind of roll with like this movement of a crowd and make it into the next, for lack of a better word, I'm going to just call them alleyways so we can differentiate between the actual streets, into this alleyway without anyone else seeming to notice you.
I immediately check my pockets and my bag as we're moving.
That is awesome because you do find something. Let me send you a text really quick. There's a small parcel.
To be clear, I'm not expecting to find something. I was expecting something to be missing, but that is cool that I find something.
Surprise! Yeah, well, you kind of like, you're like, wait, what? And then as you go to check, you realize in your hands is something. Like someone has just put something in your hands. It's a small parcel, like, I don't know, maybe 6 inches square by 3 inches deep, something very small, wrapped in cloth. And there's like a little note on the top of it. I'm going to give you the note first, and then I'll tell you what's inside the pack. So you have a message now.
This is just for you.
Do you open the cloth?
I do. I'd also like to see if Kellen's smarter than me, and does he know the possibilities for what that signature could be?
Make me a separate, just like straight, we'll call it history, I guess. That's kind of how we've done memory. So make a history check. We'll see if anything comes out of that. Inside of that pack, there is a disguise kit and a small map of the local area. It's got it's got Vabana, the capital city. It's got the path you came up to it on the south, and it shows that there is another path it seems you can take from the west, so that you don't have to backtrack any, and you can keep heading in the direction you want to go. Thymos is marked on there with an X, and there's a tree beside that.
Oh,
it shows
boy.
Thymos is like half a day's travel, maybe. If you're guessing, like it's not the most detailed map. It's like somebody's hand drawn this map. It gives you a direction of travel. Like this is where Trostranchen was. This is where roughly like the Antamial and the Voltaine are. Like just a general kind of compass map.
Okay. So he kind of rewraps the disguise kit back up as he he starts like moving a little quicker to catch back up with the rest of this party.
How was that history check?
It was a 7. I considered doing time shenanigans just to see what would happen, but I didn't, so I ended up with a 7.
Yeah, that makes sense. You haven't seen this signature before, I guess. So
the lettering just isn't coming to me right now, and the stress and whatnot.
And also, like, it does seem kind of shaky. Like, well, I mean, I think everyone has tried this once before. When you write with your offhand, like how it comes out weird, it's kind of got that like weird slant to it. So that might be also making it a little bit more difficult to understand.
Possibly intentionally, for sure.
Possibly. Awesome.
Okay, yeah. He's just going to keep moving for now, and he'll report it once they get a bit further away to catch people up on what's going on.
All right. We continue to head north. we are coming back
What's
to
that 22
another.
get, Otis?
The 22 got you that no one noticed you when you went into this alleyway. Like you were able to see where people were looking and get around it as that excitement happened to the west.
Got it. Okay.
You're now at a new intersection. And I'm going to drop you there for a second as I go over to Ardris. So Ardris, it's been not a very long amount of time. You're kind of roughly slung over this one very large guard's shoulders, which isn't great. But, I mean, he doesn't seem to actively be harming you anyway. You're just kind of bound so you can't do anything. You are moving through the streets, and you are actually heading west towards the Citadel. You can see as it is looming in front of you. It's got high walls around it and is built up quite tall. There seems to be quite a few, like, what are they called? Parapets or battlements, whatever, that kind of come off of it, so it gives it a very spiky look. You seem to be heading there, or at least in that direction from the Travell. And as you are moving, you can hear, like, there's a lot of people who are interested in what's going on. This is some grade A entertainment that, like, this random elf is being, like, sack of potatoes carried through the streets. Anything you
I would
want
like
to do?
to try to free myself for this.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to be free of this situation. Can I try to free myself?
Tell me what you're trying to do.
Either kind of slender my way out of this, or if not, just pure strength.
All right. I'm a generous god, so I will say, yeah, you can slender your way out of this, or you can try rather. Make it a check at disadvantage though, because you are being like hoisted. You don't have anything to wriggle against really, based on where you're placed.
Listen, I am a wizard. There is no need to make this more difficult for me than it already is. That's just mean. That's just being mean.
It's almost like.
See, if it wasn't at disadvantage, it would have been a solid roll. But it's a 2 on the dice, so either so it'd be like 5 if it's an acrobatics, or just 2 if it's athletics.
That is unfortunate. So you kind of wriggle your way. You're trying and do it. The guard who is carrying you just kind of like does that thing where he's like, hup, and like repositions you, and it kind of hurts, like when you like hit your stomach. You don't seem to get any leeway in these ropes, though. Unfortunately.
Is this kind of a short rest?
You can try and take a short rest on your way if you don't do anything else. It is more time consuming to take a short rest, so not yet. But you could start from now and deliberately choose not to do anything else and hypothetically take a short rest.
You're a very generous person.
So,
I mean, what else can he do at this point but rest? Let's be honest. I put him in a corner. If he wants to try and use that corner to take a nap, cool.
So you know how when you're trying to like pick people up, or like the little kids up, and they like squirm and they like make their weight like really awkward to make it hard to hold. I would like to do that so that way I get dropped.
All right. So you're doing like the weirdest worm ever, where you're just kind of like, I mean, wriggling, really, right? Like, what else could you call it?
Mm-hmm.
Malicious non-compliance. I mean, honestly, I can't see that this is gonna help, but I will roll something once I figure out what to roll. I'm just gonna call athletics for him to keep a hold on you so that you don't fall. What was your really bad roll earlier?
5 total for acrobatics.
All right, then I will set the DC at 15. Ooh, ouch, my dude, you've been dropped. Take 6 points of damage as you fall. But you do manage to like just overbalance enough that you kind of roll off of his shoulder. He doesn't catch you in time before you thwack hit the ground really hard.
Can I shimmy in the rope enough to get my hands free to do a somatic component of a spell?
I'm gonna say based on your previous fail, no.
Is there anything around me? Like, can I, leave? Can I run off? Like, what am I working with here?
Right now you're prone, so you'd have to get up. You are surrounded by, there's 4 of the beefy guards, 1 of the not beefy guards, a crowd of people who's following you. You're on cobblestones. It looks like if you could get like 20-ish feet away on foot, you would be able to start kind of doing what the rest of the party's doing and running through the smaller side streets rather than staying on the main path. But the area that you are in is much nicer and much more busy than where they are. So it's not impossible. I'm not trying to dissuade you, but it's not going to be easy either.
Are there any like stalls around?
Sure. You're getting closer towards the Ariatoria, which is like the nice market area, the one that's got everything, even though it's a bit overpriced. So yeah, there's there's like gold merchants and stuff through here, or fine weapons.
So I will stand up, and if you watch like any action movie ever where the people get captured and then they like just start knocking stuff into the air and making people like die for it, I want to do that.
Sure. So as you move, there's going to be 2 people who get an attack of opportunity against you out of the 5 guards. So only 2 are close enough. So I'll roll that really quick.
Does my ring of shield work?
Does shield have a somatic component?
He's asking if he can activate it. He's asking if he can activate an item though, which is slightly different.
That is true. What do you normally do to activate that item? Because I think if I read the text correctly, it says basically once per day you get a free shield. The question is, how do you activate the ring? You tell me. No, you tell me. What do you do to activate
I haven't thought this far. I feel like, no, based on the way he does other magic, it would probably be saying, I don't know, the word for shield in like Elvish script, Elvish magical script. I don't know if that would be enough. That'd be up to you, really.
You'd be.
Did we lose Otis?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we lost Otis. So we'll be right back. We're just going to take a quick break. We lost one of our players. We should be back momentarily. So give us just a few minutes. All right, and we are now back. Sorry about that. And so with that said, Aaron, take it away.
All right, we are mid Ardris acting like a bull in a china shop. You have successfully been able to use your Ring of Shield. You evaded the 2 guards who took attacks of opportunity as you moved away from them. You are in a crowd, so it's not easy to move, and you did have to use half of your movement to stand up. So you said you wanted to go wreck some stuff as you tried to run away?
I just put as much space and things between me and these other people.
Okay, so quickest way to get out of here is going to be try and duck down a side street. There's not really like a stall on the side street, but you could try to hit one near-ish. It would take an action, basically. You just have to kind of throw yourself like a wrecking ball at it.
Well, I mean, I won't go out of my way to knock stuff over if leaving is better.
Sounds like you're taking a dash action then?
Basically, yes.
Okay, cool. So you start heading down one of these side streets. It's a fairly narrow one before you get to the one street up. which is, you would know, is the one that the rest of the party came out of when they bamped out of the backside of that tavern. So, like, you're one street up to where they were, basically, but quite a far ways to the west. You are still bound. So what's the plan? Just give me that elevator pitch.
I want to get myself free. I have a small knife in my person.
Okay.
And knives cut through rope. So I would like to combine these facts together with the intention of not being bound by rope at the end of it.
It is arguably true. My question is, how are you going to get that knife?
That is a good question. Well, what is around me at the moment?
Now,
broken windows nearby, that kind of thing.
You got Mage Hand, right?
I mean, there are no broken windows. Your arms are bound in such a way that Mage Hand, I think, you could not cast if it has a somatic component. So again, right now your somatics, like your ring was a freebie because you're wearing it, but everything else is difficult. No broken windows. You're in a fairly, you've moved into nicer area of the Citadel, heading out towards the Citadel. So lots of people, and you are now right at the cusp of getting onto the next road. So are you stopping here to try and take inventory, or are you still like running?
I have my rings, correct?
Yes.
I would like to use my position of privilege, background ability, to convince some of the non-noble people to assist me in cutting these ropes off of me.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Let me try to resolve this. You're in a side street. You're almost to the thing. There's plenty of people around you. You can absolutely stop anyone you want. About 15 feet behind you, though, is the guards who are chasing you.
Mm-hmm.
So you can stop and be like, I am a noble, let me out. But that will give the guards time to catch up to you. So it's just a matter of when you want to do it.
Would I be free before they got to me? That was the question.
I mean, if you successfully get someone to cut you out, they would probably arrive to you at about the same time as the rope spell. It's a very, very tight timeline because you're not that far ahead of them. You dashed, which helped you get out, but you guys lost that movement. So
then, yeah, I would be cut free. I would do the goal.
Okay, so you run into this random person who is looking at you, eyes wide. They look to be like a pretty slender human, fairly young, maybe they're teens, maybe early 20s. And they're just kind of looking at you with huge, wide eyes. Tell me what you say in order to get them to cut you free.
So I would really appreciate if you assisted me and my family in our moment of need. Please cut these ropes off of me. Thank you.
Oh, I mean, I guess. Starts looking through the bag, trying to find a knife, sees the guards. Go roll a persuasion check with advantage because of your background to see, are they going to listen to you, or are they going to listen to the guards who are currently screaming, "Halt! You!"
23.
Hey, they found a knife in their bag, and you're way closer than the guards. They absolutely do cut you free. Congratulations, you now have hands.
They look better as well. Now I have a second question for you. If I fire above the guards, would I kill this person who helped me?
Probably. The guards are now literally 5 feet from you. They're on you. I mean, just for funsies, I'm going to say roll initiative. No one is surprised here. We're just going to see kind of who comes first. I'm going to say only 2 of the guards currently on your tail, just because I don't want to roll in 5 guards right now, to be honest.
So I will do I get advantage on the initiative roll?
Why would you?
I don't know. I was standing here and they weren't.
That is technically true, but I'm going to say no.
So that is a natural 1 for a total of 9.
Cool. They rolled a natural 20 and a natural 19. So they're going to go first, unfortunately.
I hate you. I absolutely hate you at the moment.
I'm so sorry. I mean, sorry, not sorry. Some frustration is necessary in order to triumph and be the amazing heroes that you are. The first one's going to go to grapple you.
Does shield help me with this?
Is shield still up?
Yes, it is the ring is an hour long.
Oh yeah.
Shield.
Well, I mean, it protects you from attacks, but grapples are contested rolls, so I'm gonna go with probably not. Like if they were trying to like take a swing at you, it would help, but they're just trying to grab you. Go ahead and roll 2 acrobatics checks. Or athletics. You can choose which one you would prefer to use for the skill here.
Can they be saving throws?
Not usually. Usually, grapples are athletics versus acrobatics.
So the first one is a dirty 20.
Okay.
And the second one is an 11.
The good news is the first one you duck out of the way. The bad news is ducking out of the way of that one puts you in the arms of the other, who is currently holding you. So you are currently grappled, but you have used their actions in order to do that, so that's handy. And you're not bound, so that's cool. That is their actions. They are, for their movement, going to kind of like start dragging you back to the south. But it is your turn. What are you going to do? There are lots of non-combatants around here. I do want to let you know that in case you're looking for those area of effect spells. There are lots of non-combatants here. Actually, I'm going to pause here and let you keep thinking about that as we bounce back to the other team. So it's really funny. All of the things that Argus just went through is kind of what you heard as you crossed that street, and there was some kerfluffle going on to the west. That's that. You are hitting this next cross street. How are you approaching that cross? What's the plan?
Do we hear Ardris escaping, or?
No, he's not that close. It's just like when you crossed that last street, you heard that there was some sort of excitement happening to the west, but he's not close enough that like you knew exactly what happened. And also, like so far, nothing that he's done has been loud. It's just been like rolling off of a shoulder and running.
Gotcha. Okay. So if there's another cross, a cross path, is that correct?
Yes, if you want to keep heading north, you're going to have to cross the street to do so.
Okay. Are there guards around?
Oh, that's a good question. Are you going to stop to look?
Oh, definitely.
Party perception check, please.
Straight rolls.
Oh, man.
Straight rolls.
Got it.
That was not as good. That is a 13 for me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I can add a D4 too.
25.
17.
Those little rabbit ears going everywhere.
27 for Otis.
All right. You know, I think that tracks. You're thinking about things right now, making lots of plans, trying to figure out what's going on. Miri and Otis, stop everyone before you exit, because there are Petrocosta very close to this intersection who are clearly scanning like the people who are wandering around looking for something. They seem to be on alert.
Marriage like everybody back.
Like the Looney Tunes when they skate their feet against the ground.
You do the dominoes thing where like each new person just kind of hits the person in front of them.
There's guards up there.
Okay. First, they'll be looking for 4 of us. 3, and Micah is very distinctive. So, Micah, do you promise to follow us very, very closely?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to cast a spell on you now, okay?
Okay.
And he begins to, like you were closing the shades on a window or something like that. He moves his hands in and speaks the words cast invisibility. Micah is now invisible.
Very cool. Heck yes.
And then he will unwrap a cloth, stick the cloth into his bag, and open the disguise kit.
Excellent.
I would now like to try to disguise Otis and Mary.
All right, make me 2 disguise kit checks. So you're proficient, right? So that would be Dex plus proficiency. Or you are proficient, right, with your new rogue level?
Yeah.
Or I guess with your old rogue level. You didn't take rogue last time.
True, yes. It is an old rogue level now.
Can I give him a bardic inspiration die?
Yeah, how are you going to inspire?
It's like, okay, Kellen, I've done all of the makeup, and I think that you got this. So you need to do like a little bit here and a little bit here, and then on Otis, she'll just start like pointing out just a little bit.
So you now have like a sous chef of makeup who is trying to like help you figure out like exactly how to cover Otis. With that, I will say for the Otis check, you can add a bardic inspiration die.
Okay. Well, who would want to go first, Otis or Miri? I assume Otis would want Miri to go first in case we needed to.
I will say no. Mary has invisibility.
Okay. Well, so would you? Well, would you tell him though, like I'm gonna go invisible, or?
It kind of just depends on what that check is gonna look like.
Well, we're still gonna.
We are the 2 most lacking in
go
charisma.
for now.
So if we ever need to persuade someone,
I am going to chronal shift this first roll. Okay, so first question, can I re-roll it for the feature? Okay. That does make it way better for Miri. That's going to be a 21.
Okay.
Now, second question, do I need to roll a D100 from using chronal shift here?
You do not.
Okay. Excellent news. Now I'm going to do Otis, and that will have a bonus D6, correct?
Miri, you're at a D6, right? For
Yes.
bardic inspiration.
Okay. And then final question. Since they can, since bards can use the bardic inspiration as more of like a bonus action type thing, and I did Miri first anyway, would it be possible for her to also use the help action, since I believe she has a related level to what I'm also trying to do?
You know what? Yeah. She gave you inspiration. You did her. We're basically on a new round. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
And she did also specifically, like, her method of inspiring me was like kind of a help action in the sense of pointing out what to
Pretty
do,
much, yeah.
right?
I wasn't gonna burst out into song in the middle of an alley with guards looking for me.
Honestly, I am disappointed in that sound. I was looking for a concerto in makeup.
Oh no.
Brother more pollute. I'm just saying.
That is a 19 for Miri.
So we had a 21 and a 19?
Mm-hmm. And then Kellen will stop and take a moment for himself to take out the pieces of Jorhan. And this time they actually watch as he does the makeup and puts on the little ear caps and dusts his hair purple to become Jorhan.
Very, very cool. What do those disguises look like for Otis and Mary? What are they looking like now?
Alice,
Are you asking me or them?
I'm asking you because you're the one who created it.
mm-hmm.
So I imagine that he has like a 3-second argument with Otis that sounds like, Otis, take off the top hat. And then Otis is like, absolutely not.
No, he do it. He's not in the condition. A lot of the fight's going out of him right now.
Oh,
That
That's
is
actually-
the most heartbreaking thing.
that is. Oh no.
That is actually really sad. So he would go, take off your top hat. And Otis just goes, yes, while he's about to be like, fine. And then when Otis does that, he's like, no, you can keep it. And like tries to put it back on him. He has like a mustache and like a goatee on him. And then, a little bit of contouring magic so that his cheekbones look a bit different.
Sure. Hey, just a free side tip from a detective book I read one time. Apparently, changing eyebrow shapes dramatically affects a people's ability to know who you are.
Interesting.
So, just
It's
a
very
little,
true,
like, I don't know. I'm glad that it's true because I was just quoting a fiction book, but like, yeah, apparently.
That does make a lot of
That's
sense.
suspicious.
But at the same time, Kellen probably isn't going to want to do anything like permanent at this point in time.
Shave his eyebrows off right now.
Well, you added a goatee. You can add more hair.
Yeah. If that's something that could reasonably be done, you feel like with the
21 again.
Yeah, he'd try to like edge out the arches so they look a little bit longer on either side than what they normally do. Would you
say with the entire effect, it changes the age appearance of Otis?
That was a little bit of the like contouring and the makeup stuff that he would have tried to do. I doubt that it's anything drastic since we're also still doing this as a bit of like a quick job though. But maybe a couple of years, like plus or minus, and then trying to change the definition of the cheekbones.
Sure.
I imagine Miri's ends up being not quite as good because he's like, how do you disguise a rabbit? Crap, let me think. And then he has to try to like come up with it. And I imagine he'd look for like some temporary dyes that would actually like change her coloration, like adding a little bit of spots in it. Assuming that she would let him do that.
She'll let him whatever right now.
Mm-hmm. And then we look for some of the similar threads to change the shape of her eyebrows. Flashback to the academy where someone taught him that trick. And they were like, listen, you're not going to be able to become an expert on this in the next couple of months, but what you can do is memorize this trick. And so he'll focus on that for both of them and then changing the pattern.
And you know who it was that taught you that?
Yeah.
That was a question. You know who it was who taught you that? Yes?
I was envisioning it as my buddy. I would have to look up his name. The roguish sophomore that we met.
Oh, the Arakakra? They gave you the lockpicking help?
Yeah. I originally went to him and I was like, how do I do this? What was their name?
Is it Narcus?
Narcus was the one that was helping you with your lockpicking help, who was a freshman, or freshman stoner.
So it could have been him. Do you remember the character I'm talking about? I'm actually not seeing them in my notes.
The Ranger?
No, I think that you're talking about Narcus, because Narcus was the original one who gave you...
Yeah.
No, Flory. Were they roguish?
Flory was a stoner. In fact, that's what I have their class written as right now.
Okay, so
As a stoner.
it would have been Narcus, I think, most likely then, because it probably wouldn't have been Bim. And I don't know, does Alfric Loom have the capability to teach such a thing?
He does.
It would have most likely been Loom then.
Considering.
Yeah, this is probably something like after he approached both of you guys to talk about like, hey, you know, Rogan's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine there was a couple of like one-off, like you
Maybe,
go to him for help or something like that.
Maybe he even showed us the eyebrow trick while he was kind of trying to talk to us about it and what it could do a little bit, and was like, see, look in this mirror, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're a completely different person now.
Yeah. What do you do for the ears?
Yeah.
For whom?
Otis can lend you the hat to put on Mary's head. His head. He'd do it.
Just because it's Miri?
Yeah, that and you know, he's still not fight you on a lot of things right now.
So I like that idea. That I think is a good idea. For Otis's to just kind of overall try to change the face shape, I assume you could probably get like some kind of paste or something that could be used to like add material a little bit and then cover over them with makeup.
Yeah, it's kind of like a modeling clay, I'm imagining, that can help you change like what the bone structure of the ears look like, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, so you are all either invisible or disguised, say, and we now have a Jorhan in the party. So, what next?
Before we go, Miri is just like, I knew it. Towards Jorhan here.
I love the idea that you met older Jorhan, who was older Kellen, but like it's only now that all the pieces click together.
Technically, that's how the feature works. It's like,
I think you're absolutely right.
Even if you've met both of them, unless you like explicitly know for some reason, that it still works. But now it doesn't function on the party except for Ardris. Kellen would say, okay, so now we're disguised. We can walk normal. Everything's cool. We're just heading where we're heading. And what we're going to do is we're going to walk. I'll walk out a little bit in front. Miri and Otis walk slightly behind me, but next to me. Then we can create a pocket for Micah so people won't bump into him while he's invisible, while they're invisible.
Oh, okay.
Quick question, Aaron. How much time has passed from the inn to where we're standing now?
I mean, you haven't been rushing, but you have been moving at a pretty steady pace. I'd say not as much time as you might think. You haven't gotten all that far. You're only about, 3 streets away to the north.
Not this time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the time isn't much because the distance isn't much yet. You also have been moving a little bit slower, though. So, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 minutes max.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay. Well, Otis will.
That's the higher end of the time frame that it might be.
Otis will probably just tell Nazareth to fly high. He might need the wildfire spirit still.
How high?
Probably maintain 60, 70 feet in the air.
You do remember that in order to activate it as the wildfire spirit, it's got to be within that 30-foot range.
Oh, it's been active. That's the thing. It's active for. Wait, is it an hour? Hold on. Or is it less? If it's not active anymore, then I don't have to worry about it.
Oh, good question.
Yeah, because she was technically, depending on the time, she'd technically still be active.
Right.
Oh, we're good. Yeah. She's deactivated.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, she is deactivated?
Mm-hmm.
It manifests for 1 hour.
Oh, it is the 1 hour. Okay, so yeah, she's still out.
Okay, so you hear Nazareth turn to you and says, fly high. And then immediately takes up 60 feet.
There we go.
And so you've got some eyes in the skies. As you step, I assume you're stepping from the side into the street.
Yeah, I think we need to cross again to continue the way we're going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah,
as you do.
We've created our little pocket for invisible Micah.
As you do, one of the Petrocosta looks over at you and is like, hey, all of you.
Yes?
We are clearing this area. There's apparently some sort of dangerous criminal elements. Where are you headed?
Oh, dear, we were just headed north. Would you like us to go a particular direction so we can stay out of your way?
That is a excellent question. You know, if they told us anything, it'd be a lot easier to do our jobs. I guess if you're heading north, that's probably fine. Just be on the lookout.
Do you have any descriptions for them, or?
No, I mean, things are pretty hazy right now. There was, I don't know, 4 or 5 individuals. I'm not really sure exactly where they are. Foreigners, so no offense.
Trust me, I understand. And he kind of just nods and he's like, well, we'll leave you to your duties. Wouldn't want you to miss something. Sorry to interrupt. And
No. Yeah, I mean, if you do see anyone, or like, please say something. There's Petrocosta all over the place. You can flag any one of us down, and we are happy to come to your aid. Just, maybe find somewhere indoors or something. Just kind of wait it out.
Prop says.
Sorry, Miss.
Oh, I was just hearing your conversation, so I just didn't know that there was any criminal activity around.
You know, we're normally a very quiet and safe city. It is also a bit of a surprise, I think, to the local population. What did you say your name was?
Oh, I didn't. That's my bad. My name is Sarah.
Hello, Sarah. If you do need some help, like I said, Petrocosta everywhere. Feel free to flag any one of us. If you leave the city for whatever reason, do check in with the guards, just so that we can know how many people we need to be kind of keeping safe. You know what I mean? It's important that we have a general understanding of our population here. Anyway, I'm sorry, I've got to... And you see that some of that kerfluffle is, again, kind of sounding to the west. And so their attention is distracted from me, and they're like, yes, okay, on your way, be safe. And they start to move to the west. They have already kind of forgotten you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So you keep making your way to the north. We're going to jump back over to Ardris. Ardris, you're in the middle of a side street, surrounded by, well, there's only 2 guards here right now. There's 3 that are coming in your direction, but are not. They're like about 30 feet away. And then there is a lot of just random folk.
I have a question. So normally, using a ranged attack on a close range gives you disadvantage. Correct. But I feel I am quite literally close enough to physically touch this person. So if I were to cast Scorching Ray at point blank range, would I have disadvantage?
Huh. Do not quote me on this in the future, as I will probably have to, retcon it. But for this specific encounter, I will say no disadvantage. Because I think it makes sense if you've got flames coming out of your hands and you can literally touch someone, that it's going to hurt them.
Yeah, I'm pretty much just grabbing whatever exposed part of his body and just unleashing a Scorching Ray.
To,
the one touching me.
Okay. Awesome. Go ahead and do whatever you got to do for that.
Rest in peace.
So that is a 15, a 20, and a 25 to hit.
2 of those hit.
What is this AC? Why is it so high?
Heavy.
Why?
Sorry, I told you there's some beefy ones and there's some not beefy ones. These 2 are the beefy ones.
How would they have guards that aren't beefy?
He takes 14 fire damage.
14. Awesome. I will make a note of that. That happens for sure. Oh.
I don't think I can do anything else. Yeah, I don't think I can do anything else. I think that's all that I can do at the moment. I think that's it.
Sorry, how much damage was it?
14. Is that enough to make him let go of me?
For this particular guard, no, but he does look.
This man is inhuman. Yes, and he is a model guard. He is
14 is not. 14 is not that much, my dude. It wasn't like you did 40 and he didn't blink.
That is half my current hit points. That is a lot of damage. We will respect 14
it's
damage.
Not.
Okay.
14
yes,
is not half your current hit points.
My current hit points are 30 at the moment.
Oh, because of the damage. Yeah, but
we will respect 14 damage. All right, that is a solid, respectable amount of damage. But yeah, I think that is all that I could do at the moment. Yes.
Okay. 14 damage.
You're trying to kill these guards.
I just want to go home, dog.
I made a reaction like.
Can I say stranger danger while I'm doing this? Just really loud.
I mean, you can.
In common and
Elvish.
Elvish.
Stop you.
I said it in common and Elvish.
The interest of the passerbyers increases in such a way that, like, you know, the bystander effect where it's like, they probably have it handled, but I'm very curious to see what happens kind of way.
I like to imagine that he yells it in Elvish first and everyone goes, what? And then he says stranger danger and they're like, oh. And then he yells it in Elvish again and they're like, huh? And he says it again, oh.
Due to the damage that you did to him, I rolled to see if he maintained the grapple, and he did not. However,
yes, then.
It is their turn again.
Can I use my movement to run away? To roll 30 feet away?
You can. So we're going to take a tax of opportunity against you.
Ooh.
I ain't scared.
Oh, that's a one hit, one miss.
Wait, what did they roll to hit?
24.
Now, so I have a question. Yep. Since the magic item is the one doing the shield at the moment, can I then cast shield?
Oh, I don't know if shields stack, my dude.
It's a magic item. I can also cast the spell.
I'm doing what I gotta do. Doing what I gotta do here. You know? The mental image of like a person hamster balled in so many shield spells that they just kind of roll because they are like pushing the ground away. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to give you that one.
I gotta do what I gotta do, dog. Gotta do what I gotta do.
I mean, it's a solid attempt for sure.
Yeah, but...
Okay. What's the damage? What's the damage?
12.
Why? Why that's so much damage? Jesus. Okay, I'm still alive.
I want to fight so bad, dog.
Okay, so you take that hit and you're able to keep moving. So you're now 30 feet. That 30 feet takes you out into the street. And then the question is, are you going to keep using that 30 feet to go into the next side street straight forward? Or are you going to try and turn left and right into the main road?
I want to go to whatever's position would leave me the furthest away from the people chasing me at the moment.
Yeah, you're going to get 30 feet regardless of which way you go. My question is, do you want to go down a side street or do you want to try and use the crowd or the surrounding areas? Do you want to try and duck into a building? Like, you don't have to Prometheus run in a straight line is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, if I can see where the guards are coming from, just the opposite that way. So if not, then we just stay on the main road.
Okay, so as you exit the side street, if you turn to the west or to the east on this like larger road, they will at least temporarily lose sight of you completely. You have
East.
like 20 feet of movement. Okay, so 20 feet of movement towards the east. Do you just want to head into kind of the crowd? Do you want to try and get into a building? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to pull my Assassin's Creed, dog. Just get into that crowd. I'm gonna do that.
Okay. Awesome. Make a stealth check. It's
Can I
a
use
weird
history
stealth
instead?
check because you're walking into a crowd that sees you coming, but
Can I have advantage?
I'm
Roll
not
the-
giving
roll
you
the one.
disadvantage
Roll the
out
one.
of the kindness of my heart.
I rolled a 1.
So the good news is like you straight up like disappear into this crowd. Bad news is this crowd all saw you coming, and the second the guards turn the corner, they just kind of do that thing where they all separate and you're the only one left standing in the middle. So like you were really well hidden had the crowd not given away where you were. But they immediately move so that you can see it. The guards come back to where you are. They're both going to attempt to grapple you again. This is unfortunate. Come on. Ooh, you still have shield up, right?
Yes, it is an
Miss. Both of them missed their grapple on you.
Wow.
So that means it is your turn.
I want to move 30 feet away.
Okay. That's 2 attacks of opportunity.
Gain with these
Man.
attacks of opportunity.
Dog, you got boots, dog. Like,
Do I
22
have
to hit.
boots?
You have never put them on as far as I know.
There's a 22 to hit. Do I stop it or do I take it? I take it.
Okay. That is going to be... Oh, I rolled really low on this one. 9 points of damage.
Am I good now? Okay, am I free?
Yeah, you take that hit and you're able to keep going.
30 feet away, then I cast fly.
Okay.
there you.
You make your 30 feet. There's a ton of people. You're kind of pushing through them, and people are terrified. They're looking at you, and like, yeah. And then the second you cast fly, that terror morphs into like abject horror as they're like, oh gosh, an eldritch being is among us, and it's like, you know, using fly to run away from our dearest, you know, like beefy guards or whatever. But you do manage to cast fly.
60 feet of movement speed. I'm leaving.
Okay. I'm going to recommend you cast it first, and then you take your movement instead of movement and then casting. Because if you do movement and then casting, you won't be able to move. But if you cast it first, you've got 60 feet to play with it and go up. Because when you cast fly, that's your action, right? To cast the spell. Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't then have further movement, if I understand correctly. It just augments your movement speed. Am I incorrect?
Why not?
It increases it to 60. But if I will say if doing it, I don't think the order actually matters. So if doing it that way works better, then I'm okay with that.
No. That's fine. Sure. If it increases to 60, that makes sense. So you can move a further 30 feet. I assume you're going up. Are you heading to a rooftop? Are you heading straight up? Are you staying low to the ground and just kind of hovering forward?
I will use the rooftops for cover.
Awesome. You easily are able to kind of disappear over the edge of a rooftop and are not currently seen from the guard's position. Bounce back to the other team.
I mean, I assume we're continuing in the direction we're going.
Yep, we gotta get away from this area. If we're still in an area where the guards are like, "Hey, there's criminals around here. Keep your eyes out for them." We need to keep moving.
Yeah, fair enough. We're going to fast forward just a little bit as you're moving forward. I'm going to keep kind of like the disguise rolls and the stealth roll and all of that kind of going forward. You're moving. You guys are moving straight north. Ardris, what direction even are you going at this point?
So forgive me with my cardinal directions. If the fancy place was west, then I would be going east.
Okay, awesome. So you are heading deeper into the Travell. So this is kind of like that tavern and souvenir kind of area. You're both kind of heading towards the outer wall, equidistant from each other. So like if you imagine a piece of pie, one of you is on the right side, one of you is on the left side, and you're both heading towards the crest. So I'm gonna kind of speed this up just a little bit to say that you were each moving with your flying. You're on top of the roof. You're sneaking through some alleyways. You're bluffing your way past any people who are trying to stop you. It's about 10 minutes later that both of you are hitting. Well, it's a little longer than 10 minutes. It's about 15 minutes later. Both of you are hitting the edge of like the wall, or you're getting close to it. You can see it looming in front of you.
Well, fly only lasts 10 minutes, so I would land inside if I had a place to hide.
Okay. I mean, you are now in a mostly residential area. You're both in kind of the same area. You're just on opposite ends of it. I mean, the rest of the party and you.
I'd find like a dark area, like the equivalent of the dark alleyway with the trash cans, and then cast minor illusion.
Aaron.
Ooh. Yes.
But Ardris see Nazareth flying because she is flying 60 feet above the area where the group is.
That is a great point. Ardris, make me a retroactive perception check as you get to the roofs.
The dice don't like me, dog. Could we not roll the dice?
I'm trying to help you, dog.
The dice. Oh wait, that was a good roll. That was a good roll. Perception, dirty 20.
Nice. As you're fleeing, you start to head east, and you kind of look over, and just out of the corner of your eye, you see something flying. You're like, yeah, okay, it's a bird. And then, like, you notice the weird coloring, like, in the corner of your eye, and you're like, oh no, wait, I know that bird. They're not really close to you, but you now know kind of a general direction of where at least one bird is. Does that alter your path?
I will stay close enough to that area that I am, close to it, but I will not go to it in case I am being followed.
Okay, cool. So instead of heading east, you're heading, northeast. You're just closer, smaller piece of pie. Gotcha. All right, so as we're moving forward, for the party minus Ardris, you were getting close to this wall. What do you want to do?
Ellen is going to start looking for buildings that might have any thieves' cant written on it.
Ooh, very interesting. Roll a perception check.
Can you guide yourself? You can't, right?
If you know that you're doing it beforehand, you can guide yourself. So if you'd like to guide yourself, go for it. This is a deliberate action that you were like, I am now going to look for thieves' cant. It makes sense that you can guide yourself in order to do so.
Would Kellen have said that he was looking for something like that?
Yeah, probably. I don't think he really has any reason to keep that secret.
Can I help him? Because I also know thieves' cant.
Absolutely. Both of you roll a perception check.
Fair enough.
No.
Like that face.
I rolled a 19.
Very nice.
27.
Woof. Kelly?
I have a 7 total, including guidance.
Oh no.
Wow.
4 rolled on the D4, so we're doing awesome.
Yeah.
No.
The only thing I've rolled well so far has been the disguises, which I am fine with.
So, Kellen, you're looking around for a second. You kind of see, in this tiny little alley, there's a cat rooting around in a trash bag. You look around, you look back. Whoa, deja vu. There's this cat rooting around the trash bag, and you get distracted by it. And as you're distracted by this, Miri, you can see that now in this seedier area, there's quite a bit of thieves' cant all over the place. It's usually found at the very base of several of these buildings or like along the road, not written high up. So Kellen was kind of surveying the wrong area, and you kind of zoom down on like the equivalent of baseboards, whatever those are in stone, like basically.
But she's shorter, that's why.
Yeah.
It's look down, Kellen. Are you looking at the cat?
There's 2 of them.
Are there actually 2 cats?
There's 1 cat.
Have you not been sleeping again?
No.
There's only one.
I don't know. What's the right answer?
There's only 1 cat. Look. Just look at the bottom of the buildings.
Can I read it now that she's pointing out to me?
Yes, both of you can see. It's got various information about like, go here if you need a hot meal. Watch out for this street. Like this kind of information. What are you looking for in specific?
I'm looking for any markings that might indicate someone who is like a smuggler or a like illicit items trader. Like I'm looking for one of those, like the people who are Robin Hooding the hot meals in this area. Are there any markings that might lead me to them?
You see, there's quite a bit of like, it's almost like marking their territory. There's quite a bit referencing the Sharp. That's SHARP like Paul, not K like Karen. So they reference, there's quite a few references to that. They seem to be the ones kind of in charge of this area. So they're probably the ones that, if you want to find them, you think with Mary's help that the both of you could follow like the various markings to get to someone who would maybe be able to introduce you to them.
What do you say, Mary? Desperate times?
I suppose, but are we really going to try and contact the criminal underground right now?
Sometimes they're just good people in a bad situation, but I understand your hesitancy. I was thinking they could help us get out of the city without being noticed. I don't know how we're going to get out and give real names at the gate.
Oh.
If they knew to expect us there, they might know our names.
Micah? She looks somewhere where she thinks Micah is.
Oh, I would go to Citadel, see new family, explain what happened, and they fix it.
Micah, we don't know anything about your new family. We know we can trust your mom, but we don't know these people. They could have been the ones that sent those guards after us.
Why would they do that?
Like, to them, we're not, I guess, good people?
Otis will say under his breath, not all family is good family.
Hey, that makes so what? Maybe I ask someone, cause what I don't know why they would hurt me. I did nothing.
even if they didn't want to. Someone with connections does, and it looks like they're official connections with the Petra Costa. I mean, I don't really understand the markings here, but some of those guards were a lot tougher than most of the men I've met in my whole life, except, maybe Drogon.
They were strong, but I have ways to go Citadel like this.
And you can't really see them point to themselves, but essentially what they're saying is they also can cast invisibility.
Like I do this. I go very far. I can change. I can go in Citadel and find mother or father or sister or what a fort and ask them to stop.
I don't think it's going to be that simple, Micah.
What if it was one of them? Then you're trapped, and we have two friends to rescue, and you don't have the same level of connection if you're thrown into a jail that Ardris does. What if the other, let's say even if your family, the birth family or what have you, is innocent in this, you could still be intercepted by the people who were there. They knew exactly where to find us, which means they can probably get a description of you, and the reason I made you invisible instead of disguising you is you're a little bit conspicuous in all the best ways, of course.
I know I have burns and stuff, but I can change to not look like me. I can change to an animal. I can turn this invisible. I can disappear and go very far. So I can stay out of sight. I just want to know if they want me. And I can if they do, I can get this fixed.
You mean you can start a political incident as they have to sort through what toxic nature of their officials allowed this to happen in the first place?
That's not right. Evil guards.
It wasn't right.
It feels like this might be a little bit more deeper than guards, Micah. I just don't feel comfortable even sending you over there or us all going over there.
Do you need to know today? If we can get out of the city, I got this note. This note says that they'll be waiting for us near Thymos, the next place that we needed to go.
We can't leave without Ardris. What are you talking about?
I think they're going to help us get him back.
But
I want to try at least try and see, and if they're bad. I don't believe they're bad. They don't. I hope not. But I would like to try at least and see if I can make it and talk to my mom. Cause if they don't want to talk or don't like me, then I will have family, and then I would know for sure. Versus,
I understand that, Micah, but if you're wrong and they throw you in jail or worse, I would burn the city down for you. You know that, but it will be years before I'm strong enough to even think about trying. How will we get you back if you're wrong?
I can get out if wrong. I have spells that changes me and teleport. So I can get out if bad.
Micah, I used to never understand magic, but when I came to the academy and I learned about bigger, better, I guess, spells, there's always going to be somebody stronger than you.
I know. I think I do, but I could not live with myself if I did not try. I left mom at school and she won't talk to me. I have to feel like I gave it my all, or I will be able to feel normal or same or regular. But I have tried at least.
Micah, we already know that your mom loves you deeply. We do not know about this. I understand why you want to find out, but what I'm missing is why it has to be today. I mean, why are you feeling so impatient about this while our friend is missing?
'Cause when Ardris sent message, mom didn't message back. Mom's way stronger Ardris. Why never message back? Unless either don't want me, now I'm here, or she's gone. So I have to try when I have chance to, and this is best chance. I am here and I can do things to get in and try.
Otis is going to actually be clutching his fist.
I don't want to interrupt the conversation, but I'm going to pause it here for just a moment. We're going to switch over to Ardris's point of view. Because I think a lot of things are happening kind of at the same time here, and I don't want to have to interrupt you later.
Okay.
Ardris, you are not too far away from where you can see Nazareth is kind of hovering right now. You're on a rooftop. You've had a few quiet moments. You're starting to think about maybe it is safe to rendezvous with them. Make me a quick perception check. It's your favorite, I know.
14. 14.
14. Not bad. So you didn't kind of get advanced notice, but you are not surprised. But as you're kind of surveying the area and trying to see, is it safe to go to them, you hear a voice as from the street next to the house that you are currently kind of on, a figure flies up to be on your level. This person is has dark skin tone, golden yellow eyes with 2 sets of eyelids, scales along the nose and the brow, long silver hair. But it's probably the massive spectral wings and the large crown on his head that gives away that this is the Emperor himself who has flown up to you. It's interesting, just to briefly say, the crown is not a crown like sits on your head. It's like a silver and aquamarine halo. He wears long, pale silver robes that have intricate designs in black, but as he moves, you realize there's got to be some like plate armor underneath those robes. He looks like he could take a hit. No, you don't currently see any weapons. And as he raises up, he's very clearly not surprised to see you. As the first words that he says is, long has it been since there was a Luxina here at my town, at my city.
Just who is injured and battered and covered in blood will turn his back on where he knows his other children are and remove his wand from in his robes. Well, I can assure you they have been much better in the past. Are we continuing with pleasantries, or has the Emperor decided to finish me himself?
He lands on the roof. The wings still outstretched for a bit longer. Like he doesn't close them. And he takes a long look at you, and then is kind of clears his throat a little bit and goes, "Oh, I think that between us, we can still be pleasant." And before you get into this conversation, we're going to have just a quick break here.
All right. Wow. What some scenes? I hope you all are enjoying this session. It has been mayhem here, and I am definitely enjoying it. If you like what you see here, definitely go ahead and join us at our Discord, which you can find in the chat below. Our Discord, of course, has a section for non-spoilers as well as spoilers. We have fan art, and we would love to hear especially now, your fan theories and questions about what is truly going on here in this city. We're going to be back within 10 to 15 minutes for the second half of Rivenwood Academy. Farewell for now. All right. And we are now back for the second half of Rivenwood Academy. So with that said, Aaron, take it away.
We are going to just jump right back into this conversation between the Emperor and Ardris. As he says, it can be pleasant between the two of you. You see, he kind of shifts in the sleeve of his robe and pulls out like a small little like tea serving tray, like 2 little cups. He's like, if you would like to sit, stand, I don't care.
This is fine. You'll have to forgive my current attire.
I understand that you've had a busy day. So do you sit or do you stand?
He's gonna stand.
Okay. As you stand, the tray that has the tea set on it, he kind of places it in the air and lets go, and it remains where it is. And he begins to brew some tea for the both of you. It's like, I have heard some distressing news.
Have you? What have you heard?
A member of the Luxina is in my city, harboring a heretical deviant claiming to be my dead child.
Very interesting information that you've been told. And when exactly were you told this story?
He finishes pouring the second cup and offers it to you.
You'll dig it.
He takes his own and takes a sip of it. He's like, well, there's little that happens in my city that I do not know. You must understand how much it distresses me and the Empress. I hewed the crypt where my dead child rests now with my own hands. That some fool would come forward and claim this is unforgivable.
We could have squared that all the way, but there was a very sporadic case of explosions that happened when we were attempting to come and meet with you all today.
I did send some of my finest guards in order to escort this blasphemer to me.
I don't believe what they did would be qualified as an escort. I would not deign to compare my time with yours, but I have been in a fair share of escorts, and they usually don't result in kicking the door down and nearly injuring multiple people in the process. It is generally considered a faux pas, amongst us elves anyway.
If I find that those who I sent in my stead were overzealous in their approach, they will be handled. But surely you can understand the dire need. It is an insult to everything that I am, an offense not only to us, but to Grelion himself, that anyone would pose to be. And he kind of just cuts himself off.
Oh, I could understand, but I'm sure you can understand from my position as well. You see, recently I have learned a very nifty spell for sending messages, and I was under the impression that our families were at least cordial to one another, so it would not have been impossible for you to have simply requested a meeting with myself. We could have avoided a lot of problems and cleared all of this up, and we could have all been about our way much earlier than this, and there wouldn't be multiple people who are burning.
I'm surprised that you yourself did not announce your visit at the gates and request an audience with me.
Well, I did announce myself to the guard at the gates. I showed them my scroll of pedigree. They gave me an inn to stay in, and I had intended, once I had freshened up, to come and see you all myself. But then I was attacked.
Well, then we'll chalk it up to an unfortunate misunderstanding. You can gather your allies, or whoever they may be. We will verify that there is no such heretic among them, and we will be happy to help you to be on your way. Where are they now?
Well, unfortunately, I was bound by other obligations, so I don't entirely know what they are doing at the moment.
Make a deception check. You're mostly telling the truth, which I like. So I'm gonna say do it with advantage.
That is a natural one. I would say that it is entirely because he's in so much pain and is so irritated that he isn't actually trying to lie effectively.
That's fair. This is very like how the nobles talk to each other, where it's like we're definitely just not saying the truth, but everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. Absolutely. So he looks at you, and there's just like you see this momentary like flicker of rage, of anger, and then he looks over your shoulder, and he sees Nazareth, and is like, ah, interesting. And all of you can now start to hear. There's a lot of movement happening. It sounds like armor, and it's coming from the south, from the west, and from the east, kind of converging towards where all of you are. If you are unable or unwilling to help in this pursuit, well, I certainly don't need you. And you watch as, in his hand, a spiritual weapon in the shape of a glaive appears.
Oh, no.
It is unfortunate that a member of the Luxina clan has still not graced my city with their presence.
I thought we were past the time for physical threats. Do you honestly think that the rest of my family doesn't know that I am here? Come now, if you were going to kill me, I would already be dead. Now, I do have a question for you. I don't believe you made public the events surrounding the departure of your child. What exactly happened there?
He's been playing it fairly chill for all of this. You know, he offered you a cup of tea. That tea set is now plummeting to the ground as he drops his kind of concentration on what that is happening. And as those teacups are breaking, you see on his face absolute rage. It's not momentary flicker. His entire face contorts into this look of like pure anger. And as he's looking at you, and he's like, "You dare to come into my empire, and you think that you can try to..." And as he's saying this, we're going to switch back to the other side really quick. You guys are in the middle of this conversation. You've just talked about how, oh, you know, maybe he's a very good guy, but what's the rush? We want to make sure we're safe. And you can now hear, it sounds like there's quite a number of troops or guards or Petrocosta, you're not sure, that are heading in your direction from many different angles. You have a moment. What would you like to do?
So when Micah hears footsteps, they're invisible and they're going to I think they can still retain their visibility during this. But what they're going to do is they're going to start shifting some of their spell slots around to essentially convert them from spell slots to source word points, and then back the spell slots in different forms. So you don't see it, but essentially there's like weaves of magic flowing around his clothes as he's essentially reworking his spell slots to be able to cast different types of, but to have more spell slots essentially use second and fourth level spells and less spell slots in first and third level spells.
It would be super cool if you could see it.
Yeah.
Like with the invisibility, you can't see it, but like it would look really cool if you could see it. It is unfortunate. You'll have to do it again sometime when everyone can see you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of go into like a semi kind of meditative, like fugue state as you were doing that. Everyone else?
Otis is going to wild shape into a rat.
Done.
Which stops Nazareth, wildfire spirit.
Colin pulls his dagger and takes a defensive position.
Okay.
Miri will then, is she seen everybody? Well, at least Kellen. Pull out his weapon. She'll summon Gravitas, and she won't take it out, but she's like got her hand on it at least.
For sure. I'm going to say Nazareth drops from where they were flying because they're no longer in the wild spirit form, so it's kind of like they're doing what they want now. And is going to come and rest on Kellen's shoulder.
When they come into view, Kellen will shout something. Can we see them at all yet?
Where you are,
hear them.
Yeah, right now, like where you are is kind of in a maze of this residential area. So it's very, very easy to hear the echoing of all of these steps coming towards you, but there's not very good lines of sight. So they can't see you yet. You can't see them yet, but it sounds like it is imminent. So you're holding something for when you can see them?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to shout at them and demand that the leader step forward to speak.
Awesome. So, you... Okay, cool. So, Micah invisibly does some stuff. Otis becomes a rat. Kellen and Miri both kind of take those defensive positions as Nazareth alights on Kellen's shoulder, back up to where Ardris and the Emperor are. You can hear all of these footsteps. You are aware that soldiers are converging on where they are. You have a moment. Is there anything you want to do?
Otis will scamper and see if he can hide behind like a crate or a barrel or something.
Sure. That makes sense. Ardris?
So this means that our conversation has come to its close?
Well, I think that we can still keep talking, but let's have the whole gang here. He is going to... Well, actually, fair is fair. Roll me an initiative so we can see who goes first.
Oh, boy. Just Ardris and the Emperor?
Hey.
Or all of us?
Just Ardris and the Emperor right now.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
That is way higher than what he got, so you can move first. You guys were having a conversation over tea. I think that you were relatively close in physical proximity. I will tell you, a glaive is a reach weapon. You think that if you try to run away, he will get an attack opportunity.
So the alleyway where they are and the people are coming from, is there like things in the way, like I don't know, like in real life it'd be like signs in there? So I don't know what the medieval equivalent would be for stuff.
Because you're on a roof, like it'd be fairly easy for you to hop a roof over and then down to where they are. Because they're like 30-ish feet away from where you are.
Then I would like to cast magic missile to like, I don't know, knock some stuff over to kind of put up like a wall. You know what I mean? Like if there's an alleyway to like knock stuff over, so there's like a barrier there.
Sure, I understand what you're saying. You want to make some difficult terrain. Where are you trying to kind of put this? Because like I said, they're coming from all directions. Are you trying to put it like at an intersection you can see that is on the same street as them, to the south, to the east, to the west?
Yes, if there is an intersection, like a point where everybody would have to come to get to them, then they'd be there. If not, then if it's like 3 points, then the the straight one. I mean, like if it's like a path like this and then like this, then it.
Yeah. Understood. Okay, roll me some damage really quick, so we'll see how successful that you are. You'll just aim for like kind of the intersection due south of where they are.
So it's a magic missile. Do you want 4 multiple rolls or just 1 roll and it's used for all of the darts?
I usually roll it 4 times, but it doesn't matter to me either way.
All right. Well, so it's 4, 3, 3.
Nice. I'm gonna say like you end up doing quite a bit of damage on like there was a like some building material that was left out because there was some construction nearby, and you do quite a bit of damage. You're able to sever a rope that was holding a bunch of like materials like bricks and stuff, and they spill out into the street. So for the group that is approaching from the due south, they will have difficult terrain to get there. All of you on the ground definitely hear and also see that happen, not too far from where you are. That the end of your turn, Marcus?
Would strongly suggest you not throw away the lives of your people today. And then yes.
Okay. He's going to reach over and pick you up. One thing I have
What's
not
with
really
all the grapple checks?
one thing I haven't really mentioned is that he is 6'10", very tall. And he's going to reach up and kind of grab you by the back of your robes. If you want to try and sneak out of that, you can with a acrobatics check.
Simba,
grapple checks, dog. I'm tired of all these grapple checks.
You've been grabbed by
Natural 20.
What?
Natural 20.
Wow.
What's the total?
23. Archers is tired of this disrespect. 23 total.
You're not going to believe this. He also rolled 23.
Yeah.
I get advantage because it's what? Do I get the tie because it's a natural 20 though?
No, what I'm going to say is his intention was to pick you up and take you over to the party. Like he was using his wings to kind of pick you up and fly both of you over. And you successfully prevent him from doing that. So you all are kind of grappling on this rooftop right now. And he is unable to complete his objective. But he does have a hand on you. So I think that's how I'll navigate that series of events. Back to our alleyway folk. You are there. You can now see from 3 different angles, all of these guards are starting to pour in. There's quite a number of them. You would guesstimate somewhere between...
They do not react at all to me yelling at them once I can see them?
I am getting to that point. So the group that comes first is the one to the south, so they have the difficult terrain, so that does hold them up a little bit as they are coming towards you. But you are able to see them. Basically, you have more time to shout what you would like to shout. So go ahead and give me that.
He says, "Halt. Bring me your leader to talk. Any physical contact will be a threat, and you can choose who does not go home to their family tonight."
Strong words. I'm going to say that's an intimidation check, please.
Okay.
Mary is scared, so she's not gonna probably give him some inspiration here.
I'm going to use my second chronal shift.
Come on, Die Hard Dice. Why are you failing us at this time?
That is 14.
You see that the people who make it over this kind of are just erected. First, definitely slow. in confusion mostly. Like, it's not so much that they're scared of like what you've said or anything, that they think, oh, some of us are not going home, but it's more like, oh, wait, is this one of those noble people that we cannot piss off? Like, that's an imperious tone. Is this someone we should be listening to? So there's confusion that is causing them to slow up and kind of try and figure out what's going on. As the other two are also coming in, would you roll again?
14.
14.
Not exceptionally high, but
14's pretty good. The ones that are coming in from the west, similarly kind of stop and you see them kind of muttering to themselves, like trying to figure out like who even is the leader at this point, because they know that they can see the ones coming from the south and they're like, what's going on? From the east, though, they don't break stride, as the person in front of them very brashly just kind of walks towards you, with the rest making like a defensive position. And as he walks towards you, he's like, well, if you want a leader, I guess you can deal with me.
Good. We've been manhandled once today, and I would hate for any more men to fall in that instant. By what right do you bring such a host against us?
The order of the Emperor himself, of course.
Really? So you mean for me to believe that the Emperor commanded that some men come into our room that we had paid for, kick down the door, and begin to manhandle us? That is your claim?
I honestly have no clue what you're talking about right now. I'm just here because I was ordered to come right here, and I'm here, and I will apprehend who I must. I mean, there are a lot of Petrocosts. Are you confusing me with someone else, maybe?
Well, I'm sorry, I missed the last piece of it.
Are you confusing me with someone else, maybe?
I'm not confusing you with... I'm not confusing you with anyone else, I assure you. I'm not saying that you did these things, but by your own words, it happened at the command of the Emperor, so I'm asking if that is your claim, that what has happened to us today is by will of the Emperor.
I mean, the Emperor knows all. The Emperor charges us in our duties. It would be very irregular if it happened without him.
So, 4 men in plate mail, 4 other guards against a bunch of children. Right.
Yeah, dangerous heretic, I've heard. Although I don't, no offense, but I always see her 2 children, so.
I don't see any heretics either.
Well, then, seems like the sensible thing to do is come back to the Citadel, explain what's going on, and you'll be good to go. No heretics here.
Maybe just gonna look at Kellen.
If you can promise that we walk of our own will and you do not touch us and manhandle us as we were treated earlier, then I will come with you.
That's a lot of promises, especially since, again, wasn't there, don't know what happened. I do know there was an explosion in the city, though. So, I don't know what kind of heretics you are, but if you are the exploding types, it's going to be difficult to promise that I don't touch you.
If we were the exploding type, don't you think that we would have already done that and run away?
No idea. Way beyond my pay grade. The Emperor commands, and I do. It's a very simple relationship.
Well, Captain, you are a captain, yes?
Oh, sure. Honestly, I'm not sure with the whole translation stuff.
You would do well to remember that when little people are stepped on, you will eventually miss, and you will not like it when you miss. He'll start walking like he's going to go with them.
Oh, all right. Advice is noted. I appreciate your concern. And you, miss?
Mary will follow, so.
Hmm.
She's not gonna say anything right now, though.
Excellent. All right, 2 people in custody. And you see that he sends some runners to say, we have 2 in custody. We're heading back to the Citadel. As you are kind of thronged, they do not touch you, but they are fully surrounding you. It's the weirdest kind of like parade going on here as they're starting to let you down.
I will tell you, I'm aware that this is a bad idea, but if at any point any of them do touch him or Miri, he's immediately pulse waving into that throng of guards.
Oh,
I'm aware as a player. I'm aware as a player that is not a good plan, but his nerves are shot. He's immensely stressed. His deepest fear that this was the command of the Emperor is basically confirmed, and so he's like, "I will make your men pay if you're going to, like, do this to us."
Fair points. Fair points all around. What I do want to check in with is our rat and our invisible friend. What are you doing? So far, no one seems to have clocked either of you, but there are a lot of people. So, like, the rat is probably able to just kind of hide somewhere quiet and not get spotted. But if you're not very careful, someone is going to bump into you at some point because there are just so many people in such a small space.
Is there a box or something close by where they can be able to hide at, or?
I don't think you can get inside of a box without drawing more attention to yourself.
Oh, not inside.
But do you mean just like up? You just want to go like up a little bit?
Yeah, like is there? Well, first it's like there like a spot there may be away from view, essentially from the guards, where I could be able to like hide behind, perhaps.
At this exact moment, no, just because they've got you surrounded. In terms of hiding, you could maybe get a little bit of elevation so that it would be less likely people would bump into you, though.
Okay. They will definitely attempt to get elevated up to a certain degree.
All right, make a stealth check with advantage. The advantage is because you're invisible and because there's lots of people around. So if you're not too conspicuous, you can probably cover that noise.
All right. Let's see. Here we go. Advantage. All right. Well, the first roll was an 18, so I can't get higher than that. Was a natural 20. Never mind. So that is 22.
Super light on your feet right now. It is impressive how you just kind of like, it's like you go from one spot to another and there's almost no like period in between, but you're up on kind of a stack of some more of this building material, and it's a high enough pallet that like your feet is like at shoulder level for most of the people walking around. You don't make any noise as you're going up there, and you think that, I mean, unless someone came over and like put a hand on top of this pallet, probably no one's going to run into you.
All right. And they're going to keep an eye out for the guards until they get to the guard starts to head away to a certain degree, and then once when they see that the guards are no longer around, they're going to see. Wait, would I see Ardris at this position?
No.
Okay.
No, you're not high enough to see over the rooftops.
Gotcha. Okay. In that case, then once when I see that there's nobody around, they're going to polymorph into an eagle.
Ooh, very interesting. All right. Rotus, Rat Otis.
Otis has pretty much found the same idea, but he's gonna wait until the procession gets a little bit of distance on them, and Otis is gonna try to keep as close as he can in rav form.
Okay, excellent. All right, so Kel and Mary have decided to basically turn themselves over, provided no one touches them, and the other 2 are staying out of the way until such time as they can follow in various hidden forms. back up to Argus and the Emperor. So you're currently grappling on top of the roof. You turn and you look to your right, which is the west, and you can see this like kind of large column of guards starting to make their way south. And you catch a glimpse of Miri and Kellen in that group. Not easy to see because there are just so many people, but they are giving them a little bit of space so you can kind of pick the two of them out. You don't see the other two, but also it's a very odd angle. So it could be that you just can't see a shorter Micah, or that Otis is, behind someone else or something like that.
Emperor, what will you do? How many of your people are you willing to gamble on such foolishness?
I'm not gambling. You think that you could overpower me? Any one of you, all of you. And my men are well trained.
I don't recall saying there would be any threat to you. I said, how many of your people were you willing to gamble? How many have already died today, merely because you were unable to wait to speak with them in person?
They pledged themselves to service of myself and Grelian. Their deaths will be rewarded in the afterlife. Not really my concern. Will you come peaceably and join your little party? Or do we have to do this the fun way?
Sure, let's go and see how this story ends this evening, shall we?
So he's still holding you. He's going to attempt to lift you to carry you over. Or are you going to allow this to happen?
No, I'm just going to walk myself.
You are on a roof, so you'd have to climb down off of the top of the roof.
Yes, I will climb down off the top of the roof.
Awesome. Make an athletics or acrobatics check to get out of the scrub.
That's a 7.
I would not take your scruff.
He wins, and so you go to just pull away so you can walk off, and you were just lifted into the air. And he goes, and he lands right as this column kind of makes it out of the side street back onto one of the slightly larger roads. This is not a main thoroughfare, and there's not a lot of people around except for tons of Petrocosta. You can see Micah and Miri as you're being flown down. In the middle of that, you do not see Otis at all. And Micah, you're now an eagle.
If there was no guards around, they would have changed to eagle.
Awesome. I think that you are able to do so in such a way that no one sees it happen. So you're now an eagle. You do see an eagle, which is kind of a weird thing to see here. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's normal. You don't know. And he lands in front of this troop with you. He sets you down relatively gently. He doesn't throw you to the ground or anything. You are on your feet. And he turns and he looks at the guards. The amount of deference that these Petrocostas show him is, you've never seen anything like it. The second he lands, every single member of all of those guards takes a knee, and then they bow low enough that their forehead touches the ground. And they hold it until he says, "Yes, carry on." And they all stand up. They stand up very straight, very rigid. You get a little bit of fear off them. And these are your companions.
These are a bunch of children who you have assaulted.
They do not appear to be assaulted to me. Where is he? I know there are two more. Where are they?
If you've already been over this, I'm unable to tell you because I spent most of my time bound with other predicaments.
Convenient. And you? He's looking at Kellen.
You have
I'm sorry.
clerics.
I apologize. He's looking at Jorhan.
You have clerics in your employ.
I mean, if you require some healing or something, I'm sure we could arrange it. Answer the question.
Good. I will tell you when I'm dead. I believe they have such magics.
It is your preference.
Mm,
And you? Looking at Miri.
I am. I don't know where they are.
I don't believe you.
You have done nothing to de-escalate this situation.
I do not require de-escalation. This is
As I
handy.
told your captain, when you handle things by stomping, someone will eventually rise up. You would do well to realize this.
It's cute.
There have been no wars in this land for quite some time. It's your choice if it stays that way. I'm not a betting man, but I wouldn't be placing any bets.
Make a quick insight check. Just for funsies.
Insight.
Ellen's had it. I don't know what to tell y'all. He got a 7.
No.
7. All right. He just kind of smirks at you and is like, well, I remain unconcerned. Now, if we could all just... And then you start to hear it. Along the walls, at a fairly regular thing, there are these watchtowers that survey out and down into this valley. And they are all equipped with bells. And you hear it from the east first. And then it picks up all the way around this wall. And there is this cacophony of furious bell ringing. And as you look around at everyone, you notice they look up, which is interesting. As they look up, you start to be able to pick out some ventrida that are soaring through on these giant eagles. There's loud, what are they, screeches for an eagle? I don't know what they do. They screech, and they're diving, and they're rushing towards Vabana and towards the capital. And the citizens, the very few that you can see around here, are running into buildings. They're starting to shutter everything up. Something big is happening. And as you turn back towards the Emperor, you can see he has a look that is not pleased on his face.
Tell you, how many people are you willing to gamble tonight?
Is that a threat, Luxina?
Of course not. I am entirely at your mercy.
Take them and get them to... He starts to say, and he gets cut off as you hear this massive roar. And from the cloud cover, you see descend an adult gold dragon that flies down and flies into the midst of all of these guards. Does not hit either of you, but scatters the rest of them with like a massive flap of their wings, and ends up like snout to Emperor, like in close proximity, growling, and like these, like, it's terrifying. Honestly, you feel this wave of fear that kind of pulse ripples through this crowd as this dragon crashes down into the middle of everything. Right now you are unscathed, but it is chaos.
Do we even know anything about dragons? Like, as characters? Or would this be like there's a crazy monster, we must run now?
Quick flashback. Kellen has this thought. You flash back, you're in you're in classes. You are not in the Continental Politics class, but through the History of Magic class, like there's some discussion about this kind of thing. And you know that dragons are known to exist, but have not been cited in such a time that no one really has an opinion of them one way or the other. They're just kind of like, sure, there are dragons out there. In the same way that, like, sure, there are Polish people out there, but I don't know anyone personally right now, so I don't really have an opinion. Like, okay, they exist, but like no one has interacted with them in quite some time.
Ironically, let me tell you where my family was from. But okay, so as of yet, through the History of Magic class, there are no opinions on the metallics, chromatics, what any differences between the dragons may mean.
No.
Okay.
So, I mean, you would know it is extremely, extremely rare. Ardris.
Yes. Do I know anything about this? Since I did take the Continental Politics class.
You don't know anything about gold dragons in particular, but something that's really, really interesting is that you're currently in the Gorgon Empire. They have a state-like religion for Grelian, the heavenly dragon, who's represented on all of their banners in a constellation. Strong tie to kind of this draconic imagery. It's also kind of interesting. You know the Emperor's name. Do you know the Emperor's name?
I have lots of notes. I don't know.
The Emperor is Emperor Mephisis Goldbane. The family name is Goldbane.
I'm probably going to misspell that.
And this dragon, I can copy it for you.
All right. And this dragon looks to be specifically angry at the Emperor, not like angry at people in general, right?
Oh, extremely angry, specifically at the Emperor.
Oh boy.
Can I just I have to do it. Can Kellen say something?
Yes.
Well, Emperor, I did warn you. I didn't expect it so soon, but I've always had impeccable timing.
Please don't say that.
Don't tell me, Emperor, your name doesn't come from the hunting of gold dragons.
The Emperor is ignoring all of you. Like, you say all of this stuff, nothing to it, because his complete focus is on the dragon that is directly in front of him. You can see, like, he calls out to be like, stand your ground. But the troops that were, like the guards, the Petrikos that were surrounding you, have just been scattered. You see a lot of them are under a fear effect and are unable to come any closer. A lot of them are just shaking in their boots.
To be clear, are we currently suffering from this fear effect? Are we like, we need to back away now?
Interestingly enough, no, you are not.
Ooh. Oh, I know.
Oh, okay.
And like you and Mary are kind of underneath this dragon's wings, sort of. And yes,
this is going to be stupid. It's going to be very stupid. But I feel like Michael would do this.
Yes.
Is it possible because I presumably Michael would have been following suit to flying across, following their friends flying overhead. If they would have seen the dragon fall or drop in front of them, could Micah land on top of the dragon, shift into
okay, go ahead.
Shift into their normal self, and you see the clock open up. It says balance, 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 balance. Could that work?
Yes, absolutely, it can. So, Ardris, you are also sheltered underneath. Like the wingspan is massive. You are also sheltered on this wingspan. Otis, you're still in rat form. Are you coming out of it? Or are you staying rat?
Otis's instinct would be to stay red because he just has no idea what's going on. He's real scared and confused.
Are you gonna try and move closer to the rest of the party, or are you hanging out in the thing? Where are you at?
You would try to move closer to them in case something goes down.
I'm gonna say you can pretty easily make it like maybe like to Miri's feet or to Kellen's feet. They're the ones closest to you. Are just a little bit further away. As you land, Micah, on the back of this massive dragon, you hear the dragon say, "He is mine."
Yep, Chancellor is here.
Oh.
We've been there.
And those talons wrap around the party who are on the ground. Otis, you're able to be carried with Miri. The dragon beats its wings, and the force of that wind pushes them down. Like all of the troops are remaining. It forces the Emperor to his knees. And as the dragon begins to take off, you see this massive breath weapon. Sorry, 1 second. This massive fire breath that comes down and just coats the entire street. It is massive damage, and then it takes to the skies, and it is remarkably fast. It is probably the fastest you've ever traveled, most of you. As it starts to, you can see like the Ventrida who were like sort of running away from it at the beginning are now like in a holding pattern as far away as they can get while trying to not be like deserters. So they're like, as the dragon begins to head southwest, they're as far northeast as they can get and still kind of be technically there. And it begins to just zoom away.
The very awkward, like standing in place so that later you can swear you weren't running away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Very much so. And as this dragon clears the very high city walls and begins to make its way down into this valley, it doesn't appear that anyone is giving chase just yet. Probably because they're all terrified. You're not sure how long that will last.
Well, that was convenient. Glad to see you all are all right.
You try to say that, but you're flying at speed. And so what you hear is wind. Yeah, you just hear all of this wind. It's a weirdly loud, quiet ride in which, like, it's very difficult to talk at this point because, like, Stragon is like, basically dashing. And so it's
also
very, very fast.
Mage Oma now protects you from wind, so you can be a noble, petty noble. I'm adding that to the bottom of Mage Armor.
Also, we're like, Micah was riding on top, right? But the rest of us are all just like scooped up in claws, which will also make it very difficult to talk, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. You're kind of all at like weird angles too, because it was just like a grab and like and fly kind of movement. So it wasn't like let me extend my talons so that you can choose a comfortable chair. It was like you were snatched off of the ground and like into the air. The dragon is just moving, booking it faster and faster and faster. It is, I would imagine, maybe a little bit nauseating, like a roller coaster in which like you were dangling basically, and you're not terribly far off the ground for a lot of it as she kind of wheels through this valley and seems to be heading to a very specific place. This would have taken you half a day to get there walking.
Kellen has seen maps and has keen mind. Based on locations, are we heading where Zach, think that we're heading?
Yes, you are.
Excellent.
Yeah. And in
I'm
fact,
still alive at the moment because I was really injured. Mach speed is not healthy for the elven body.
Argus passes out mid-ride just from the vapors.
In the middle of talking, he's like,
So we go about We go about an hour and a half. Again, this would have taken you a full 6, maybe even 8 hours by foot, but it's very, very fast on this dragon. And you can see from the sky what looks to be a seal, a massive one that has been carved into like the very rock here. Again, this is still very rocky, very stony, very little scrub, and it is far bigger than the one at Phobos, but somehow also a little bit less intricate. Like it's a little bit more like geometric and not so like finicky. But scale, huge. And as you can kind of see this from an overhead position, it does also remind you of that pattern where it's like the 2 circles with 7 lines, 1 in the middle, 3 on either side. There's got to be something to that pattern. You have that time to think about it when you spot the weirdest looking tree. It's not terribly far off of the path, but it is called the halved tree for a reason. The right half of it is burnt and blackened with just a little bit of smoldering flame coming from various half of it, while the other right half is unusually verdant and green for, this kind of environment. This kind of tree would be at best a bunch of twigs normally. And instead it is half burned, half lush. Yes.
Does it seem incorporated into the geometric patterns at all?
It doesn't seem like it's inside of the seal, but it is awfully close to that location.
Interesting.
And as this dragon comes to very, very gently land so that all of you are let go, from behind this tree steps a figure. And you see Professor Alfred Loom. Loom is very badly injured with a broken left arm and a blackened eye that is swollen shut on that side, but otherwise seems to be okay. And gives you a little wave and is like, "Oh, hello there. I'm incredibly happy to see all of you."
Professor, and he's going to walk up based on a conversation that he's had previously with OK, and reach out his hand as if he was going to touch Alfred Loom on the face. Does he allow me to get closer?
He allows you.
I touch kind of next to where the black eye is, and I use Cure Wounds at the 3rd level.
Ooh, fancy!
Pulling it out already.
Yeah. How many hit points is that?
It should have rolled 12 hit points total.
Very nice. Very nice. Excellent. You can see like much of the dark purple starts to fade into a yellow as you do that, and he's able to kind of squint that eye open a bit more. As he looks at it, he's like, "Hey, thank you, Kellen. That is much appreciated." Ow.
No problem.
One thing that maybe no one has picked up on because of the chaos of what was happening, as you look at this gold dragon that now all of you are free of, Micah, you can, she kind of extends a wing so that you could kind of like use it as a ramp to get off, so you don't have to like jump.
Oh, back with that.
You can see that below the left like arm on this dragon's body, there is a grievous wound. It looks to be pretty bad. Pretty bad. It seems to affect some of how that front arm is moving, the front claws are moving. And it looks pretty terrible.
Thank you. Can I help with that?
As you are talking, you can watch as that seems to trigger something, and there is this shifting, kind of undulating of the form of this dragon. until slowly it kind of shrinks and takes shape. And you see, standing before you, Chancellor Rosani, who looks at you, and as she takes a step forward to hug you, like she's driven to her knees, you can tell that she's also still injured in this form. But she looks very happy to see you, Micah. And she's like, yes, come here.
Mom.
And they'll run for her, give her a huge hug.
Mom, you're okay.
She gives Micah a massive hug back and is like, I'm so sorry that it took me this long. I was asleep there for a bit.
Well, you're here. You're here now. What happened? What? Can I help? Maybe.
As you're talking, you can tell, like, and I think maybe Micah can't tell this as much as everyone else, just because Micah's too close to it all. She's barely conscious. She's fighting to stay awake long enough to talk to Micah. And it does appear to be something to do, like, with her injuries. But and she kind of pulls back and she's like, you being here is the biggest help. I am so very happy to see you. Kellen, Otis, Mary, Ardris, thank you. I owe you quite a bit.
She recognizes Otis in wild shape. That's pretty cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
Lighter that time.
Is
Different.
is there like a stream or a river or something nearby?
There's not one like directly next to you. You could probably hunt one. You don't really have a map of the area, but you imagine there's probably something somewhere. But the tree is, one might say, supernaturally growing here based on the environment. It is not hospitable to life. So there's not like a river running through it or something.
Ardris will limp away and find a quiet place for him to himself, where he will rip up some of his clothing and begin trying to clean his hands.
Otis will have
Very
fallen out of wild shape at this point too, because that's like the 2-hour mark, more or less.
Yeah.
I just want to check up something real quick. So for aid gives you temporary hit points, right? And does it heals you, right, as well? For like 5 hit points?
I don't think it heals you. It just adds. It gives you 5 hit points, but I don't think it heals the hit points that you had.
Oh, okay, I see.
Just 5 on top.
It increases your maximum as well at the same time.
Increases your maximum. Okay, and then gives you 5 additional. Okay, so they're going to. You see, of course, the eye start to open, and the magic weave of purple essence starts to wrap around them, and of course, clock shapes appear as they cast aid on Rosani at 4th level. So that would give them 15 temporary hit points. Each target hit point maximum and current hit point increased it would be by 15.
Nice. Very nice. Excellent. So as you do so, you can see like she kind of blinks, and like you've given her temporarily a longer amount of time to be awake, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And as she kind of looks at all of you, she notices that Ardris has pulled away and kind of leaves him to what he's doing. He's like, I'm not exactly sure everything that's happened. I kind of just woke up. But Ardris sent me a message that helped to get me enough to travel.
Can you be healed in this state? Some of us might be able to aid you further.
It's been a long time since I've needed to heal like this, but it's kind of like a hibernation. I was forced into it when you say the school exploded, and I think I was probably in the worst place for that. I don't remember any of that.
So you don't even know why it happened?
I don't know. We finished the semester, and I was in the library, and then I was waking up in quite a bit of pain with Argis's voice in my mind. Loom told me a little bit, not much. Wasn't time.
You all have time and strength for a story. To look at Loom and the Chancellor.
Loom comes over and kind of like very, very carefully puts an arm around Rosani to help guide her to like sit with her back against that tree. And then settles himself down next to her as well, given that he's also injured. It's like, well, I don't really know what we've got in terms of time given your arrival here, but we can always make the time, right? And it gives you a smirk.
I think we need to charge up. And then he pauses and he chuckles. I think we need to charge up that thing. And I'm not sure you know why, so if you don't, I'm about to tell you. It all begins with a bunch of children that had a teleportation accident. ... And then he'll go on to establish the full story. I don't know if you want to role play that next time, but he would
you give both of them all of it?
On the record, Otis will be meditating for 20 minutes if he can while this is going on.
He would give both of them everything about the seals. He would give everything. He would give them all of the information that they learned from OK, but he will try to avoid being like. He will try to avoid saying, we got this from future time traveling me wherever possible, because he still believes that the less people that know that, the better. He would say, in place of OK, a former student of the academy, which isn't really a lie to him. So feels like still telling the truth. And that's where he would say all of this information is coming from.
Excellent. Well, I mean, I think that as Rosani is, again, she's struggling to stay awake for this. She's pushing herself as hard as she can for staying awake. Loom is avidly at attention for what you have to say and seems to be kind of taking some mental notes about things, trying to put stuff together himself. As the party is taking a moment to rest and to discuss, I think it's a good spot to stop, and we can pick up the RP for this one next session.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, that was a session. What a session. Thank you all so much for coming by. Thank you, CRG Game Room, for the raid. We definitely appreciate it. We hope you liked our episode 8. If you like what you see here, please definitely join us at our Discord. Like I said, we would love to hear you talk about the campaign, your ideas for what's happening, your theories, just everything in between. And so again, unfortunately, this will be our last episode on Twitch. So make sure to follow us on our YouTube channel, where you'll be able to see the next episode and figure out what exactly is going on. And so with that said, farewell for now.